Hi guys, I we're back. We had to switch it up because the app didn't work for Trentamus, I don't think. So we're gonna come back in and see if we can have you guys join this way and bring him in. So I'm gonna actually ask to bring him, and hopefully we can get this live going because he's got such great stuff to share with you. So hopefully he can come on. Let's see. All right, where are you at? There he is. There he is.
Hey, there we go. We got it. Persistence.
Yeah,
Mm,
man. Well, okay,
Yeah,
let's go
yeah,
right back into it because I really want our audience to be able to dive in with you today.
yeah.
Um,
Thank you. Yeah, Jennifer, we're just going over what I do. So I help men and women to become the greatest version of themselves,
yeah.
right? And that's abstract in a way that so first dive into the physical aspect. As you know, we must first be thriving physically in order to thrive in all areas, energetically, emotionally, spiritually, financially. And so we dive that. We go into the gut health first, and then we go into brain balancing and the spine. And then what foundation is someone, what is their health like? What
Yeah.
is the foundation that they're setting within each day? What are the habits that they go through every day? And then how to take that to the level of which they wish to achieve and to live by. And so I've found through my process that when I was eating poor foods, I felt really poor myself on all levels. And so we dive into that. So men's evolution is my main one. We're creating men's groups and helping men that are evolving, saying, how the heck do I do this? I was raised by a society that tells me to be a taker, to be a
Mhm.
consumer, to use versus sharing and living and serving and loving. And so it's more on I'm kind of just going and uh, wrangling the men that are ready to wake up and become good versions of themselves, to serve the world, to make the world a better place. Because myself, I had that yearning, but didn't know how until I found a men's group, and which significantly changed my life. And now I'm passionate about helping other men do the same. I have women clients as well, and now I'm focusing on men. And so there's so many men that come to me and say, I'm waking up, I don't know what to do, I'm so confused. All my friends are don't, I don't get along with them anymore. I don't like sports. And now I'm starting to watch all these YouTube videos and understand more about reality. And so essentially, like in the Matrix, they're starting to take the red pills. And yeah, so they're starting to pop those red pills and start unplugging from the matrix and wondering what else is out there and saying what I feel inside is not what I've been shown in this world, in this
Man,
culture.
I can't even tell you. You blow my mind. So I've just loved your work since the second I met you.
Mhm.
We've been around each other in different kind of groups, but when I actually heard you speak at the Zone event, an event that we were both at, I mean, I
Mhm.
was so aligned with you because what your work does, not only for men, but for the relationship between men and women, is so powerful. And I
Mhm.
can't even tell you how grateful I am that you're putting yourself
Thank
out
you.
there and you're digging in and you're doing this work so that men and women can come together, if that's the
Yes.
relationship, and really just flourish and flow,
Yes.
right?
Thank you. Yes, that's it.
Yeah.
And so women and thank you for sharing that. And because I see it, I've been a product of it. I have been a toxic man. I've been abusive on all ways. And now knowing what it feels like to go through that and to be that man, and then what it feels like to be on the other end of it, to break through into a place of honor and integrity and respect. And by no means am I perfect, but it's a heck of a lot better being through this gateway into a much better life and getting support by other men and than it was before. And so now it's just so needed. And women are rising up and they're becoming empowered and it's beautiful. And they're saying, no more, I'm not taking your shit anymore.
Yeah.
And that's good for us men because that's when we actually start making changes when we get called out in love. So men are like, man, what do we do now? We can't control women. We can't put them in a box anymore. We can't put our hands over them. We can't do little things like making little jokes that puts women down, that kind of gets us these subtle ways of manipulation is not going to work any longer. And so now men are saying, all right, and men are or women are loving the men that are doing the work. It's very attractive
Totally.
because it's rare. And I put a post the other day that men that are doing the work and self-sourcing and serving is actually the new tall, dark, and handsome. And women went crazy over that because they're like, yes, we don't just want a good, sexy body anymore. We want a good man that can communicate his needs, that is willing to do the work, that's diving into a shadow, that's showing up in service. And so just serving those men is really what I've been doing. And I watched my mom go through significant abuse uh, that ended up turning into significant health issues in her life, fibromyalgia and depression and suicide attempts and in and out of hospitals for suicide and for drug abuse and addiction. And so now I'm really passionate by watching that, going through my own experience to help as many people as I can. And luckily, there's been so many tools that I built in my tool belt from just trying to get myself to a decent place, inside and out, that they seem to help people. So now I love just sharing these tools and really serving and supporting. And so I appreciate you having me on here.
Yeah, I think it's so important, Trentamus, and your vulnerability is, I love it. I love that about you. It's so appealing. And I think that, you work with men and women, but I think that, for me as a woman, I'm really drawn to your energy. And, I happen to be married to a man that is very evolved, right? And that is a very huge connection piece for him and I.
Yeah.
He does the work. And so therefore it creates a bond that's very, very sturdy. But what I wanted to maybe ask you is, I know there's women out there listening. They're like, how do I get my husband, my lover, my best friend, how do I get them to this place where, they want to push it and go a little deeper, and they don't have to feel like they're going to be ridiculed or less of a man or less masculine for wanting to kind of dive into that. Where would
Yes.
you have them kind of help their man, go to that place? How would they start that process?
Yeah, that's a great question, Jennifer.
Yeah.
I'd say that it's really important to see a man where he's at and if he's open to it. I found that myself where I can want to help a man, and if he's not willing to go there, then there's nothing I can do or should do. And so I just find where they're at, and I'll ask questions and see if they're open, because some men we have this shell and we've built this safety shell, and so what I do is I kind of see if there's any cracks in it to where there's the shell of society. And so I see if there's a crack in it, and they're saying, hey, inside, the crack's coming from inside out, and I don't want to be this anymore, but I'm a little bit afraid because it's so new and I could get made fun of, and it's not accepted by society. So I go and I kind of just get to know them, show up, help them out, and then find if there's a crack, and then ask about that crack. Just, hey, you shared the other day you were feeling a little lonely, are you open to some support with that? Or, hey, you've been drinking a lot. Is everything okay?
Mm.
Usually when someone's drinking a lot, there's an emotion behind it, and that is being stuffed. And so I ask, is everything okay? Because I know when I drink, that's what's going on. And I know that when my clients and everyone that I met. So little things, we find those cracks and then we ask about it in a loving way. And if they clam up and say no, then there's nothing we can do. And we just got to love them with where they're at and decide if we're willing to accept that ourselves, because women do not have to accept the BS that men create at all. Um,
That's a big
and
statement.
so,
That's a big statement,
yes,
Trentamus. That's a
it
big
is.
statement.
Yeah.
And I love it.
Yeah.
But can you
Hmm.
can you maybe I don't want to cut you off too soon, but what I want you to dive into about that piece is, is it all BS? I mean, is it all BS that women are putting up with, or is there some like honest stuff there that men can't really get past because of society and
Hmm.
culture? I mean, is there a
Yeah.
difference there?
Yeah. Oh my gosh, that's a great question.
Sorry.
So, yeah, that's good. It's good. And there's a multi-dimensional answer to it, because physiologically we're men. We have these hormones and these chemicals going through our body, and it's crazy even being an evolved man where I went 7 months, no sex, no masturbation, last year, completely sober for a year, just diving in to let go of everything so that I really find me.
Wow.
And so when so what I learned is that we have this like it's like a drug that comes over our body and thinks about sex, and it's almost like we're taken over. And so for me, I know my practices in order to get me back into a healthy state. And sometimes it's still extremely challenging. And so I know that there's a part of men that that they can't even control or even know how to. And so that's a huge part as well. And then we have societies, as far as being emotionally open and available, that what we've been taught. And so it's I've found that when a woman says, "Hey, Trentamus, have you realized you're doing XYZ? Because I don't see you as that man, but this is what you've been doing. Do you notice that?" And so that's a way of for them to call me out and say and not put up with it
Yeah.
and say, "Hey, I'm seeing this and you can't just pretend anymore." Because with men, we also get blinders on to our shadow. When we're not doing the work, we actually put blinders up. And so it takes a woman to come in and kind of remove that a little bit and say, "Hey, are you willing to see your shadow a little bit? Because you might not."
So
And when
that
I
is
had,
huge. That's huge.
Mhm,
So for women out there
yeah,
that are listening right now, what you just said, I want you to ask you one more thing. So if a woman sees that, what is the best way for them to have that conversation with the opposite sex that doesn't
mm,
come off as nagging or, attacking? How is that best received by a man?
yeah, great. So men knowing first what a man really wants, which is to be seen and to provide safety and protection and to be loved and to have value, that he's showing up for his family and his friends and to be connected and to feel safe and loved himself, you know? And so to first be there and say, I know this man is a good man, or innately within him. And there's been some pain that he's gone through in this life, understandably, with what's happened. Same with women. And so first getting into our energetic state and how we show up, and the intention is so huge
Okay.
with men and women both ways. So getting a state of I genuinely care about this man, and I see the best in him, and I see that he's doing things that are not okay and against my boundaries, and I will not accept. And I love him, and I'm going to share with him because I care about both of us. And so coming in a way of doing the shit sandwich or the kiss kick kiss, where it's essentially
I like that.
it's huge because it doesn't trigger us. And one of I can answer with one sentence, which is the nonviolent communication courses and books by Marshall Rosenberg are astounding.
Okay.
That should be what's taught in school. So that's
Wow.
a big one. Now, and it's coming and saying, I've been feeling afraid. I've been feeling lonely. I've been feeling confused about your drinking or about your behavior or about XYZ. And I know that you're a good man. And I'm also not feeling safe. And I'm not willing to be okay with this. And I'm willing to work with you on it because I love you. And so are you open to working together in that? And then that way the man doesn't get triggered, he's still seen. And even saying, I see you as this man that provides for his family, that cares, that shows up and all the good things, and saying, I also am confused because you've been drinking a lot, or you've been abusive, or you've been saying mean things that I'm actually not okay with. And I respect and love myself immensely, and I love and respect you immensely. And I just need you to know that I'm not willing to accept that. And I'm here for you.
I love that so
Mm.
much. Like Trentamus, that is giving women that from a male perspective is so powerful. I don't really even
Yeah,
think because that communication that you just explained can change everything.
yeah.
And I love that you prefaced it with where a man is and how you have
Hmm.
to approach him and nurture where he currently is and what he wants for himself.
Yes.
Being a provider, being, giving safety, providing for his family. I love that because I do
Yeah.
feel that men inherently want that. I mean, and showing up as a woman in that role and giving that to your significant other is a beautiful gift you can give. So
Hmm. Yes.
I adore you. I can't even tell you. I listen to you all the time. I'm a
Oh,
little bit of I'm a little bit of a I kind of listen to you all the time. I mean, I really do. And
mm,
so I
wow.
encourage our audience, women, the audience you're speaking to, Trentamus, is mostly women. But what I
Mm,
want to say is, women, if you're out there and you're listening to Trentamus, and if you feel the same way about him that I do, reach out to him because he will
yes.
genuinely, like he will genuinely give just to give with no
Yes.
expectation in return. I know that about you.
Hmm.
I value your integrity. So I'm telling you, ladies, right now, if you're struggling, if there's men in your life, there's personal relationship things that you're going through, this is the man to help you and your significant other.
Mm,
Um, so I want you to maybe leave us with a little bit of something, Trentamus, we can kind of talk about. I want to keep this under our time frame, even though I could talk
sure.
to you all day.
All day,
Um,
yeah.
but I would love for you to kind of speak to that woman right now who maybe feels like she's helpless in her relationship. Maybe she feels
Mm,
like she's tried everything and she can't get through. And maybe she feels like she's doing everything in the house, everything at work, everything for her kids, and her husband
yeah.
just isn't showing up.
Hmm. Mm,
How can you help her right now? Maybe just make one change today that could move that direction in a positive way.
yeah. Ooh, that's good.
Yeah.
Ooh. Yeah. So let's see. I would say, so it's really important for us as people to love and respect ourselves first. And if we are not showing up with love and respect in that includes honoring our boundaries and what we will and will not accept in love and respect for ourselves, then people will walk all over us.
Mm.
And we will also create the experience for us to be walked over until we stand for ourselves.
Mm.
And so if we're continually allowing, we're just giving and giving and giving and giving and giving it to where there's nothing left to everyone else except for ourselves, then it's almost like training the world and training our relationships to give that to us. And so what we do is first loving the self and honoring the self and respecting the self and living that embodiment and finding this place of what we love and respect about us and finding that deeply. And if you need support, get a hold of someone like Jennifer and myself that can support you in that. And saying, one day I wrote down a list. Here it is. Write down a list of what you love and respect in other people, and then write a list of what you strive to be yourself.
Mm.
And so that made, I broke down when I did that. I realized when I had little love and respect for myself that at least I still strive to be a good person. And so, and then that started a seed of love, self-love and respect. And then knowing that you deserve to be respected and to be heard and to be loved, and that that man deserves to hear you, and that you deserve to express your truth and what's important for you in your life, and to not give everything away, because if you give everything away, there's nothing left to give. And when you
Mm-hmm.
fill yourself up, you'll have enough to pour over to your family. And it's important as a man to be called out in love and say, hey, I'm not okay with what you've been doing. I love you. I see you. I've been feeling this way, and I'm not okay with it. What can we do together? Because this isn't beyond my boundaries, and I'm not going to be willing to continue to accept that. And if it keeps happening, there will be things that will both hurt you and I and the family, but it will not be worth me to continually sacrifice the love and respect for myself in order for you to continue to choose who you are. So I'm asking you to step up as a man and to listen to men like Trentamus and Stephanos and others that are out there speaking up into this, who've gone through the same thing and saying, and David Mailer is amazing too. I've become really close with him, and his Man on Fire uh, weekend is phenomenal. And so there are men out there that maybe that man can connect with and get some support from,
Yeah.
even by just the videos, or and ask him, are you willing to be open to working together and changing this, because I can't accept it any longer. And when that happens, then the man that when a man's not willing to change, to me, that's really signifying a boy, where it's all about me. I'm going to be this. You got to deal with it. That's a boy. A man steps and says, honey, I understand. Thank you so much for bringing this to my attention. I care about you. I love you. I'm willing to work together in this. This is what I've been feeling and receiving, and why I've been having this shell, and why I've been acting this way. And thank you for telling me it's not okay, because I care about you. I'm willing to be here. That's a man that loves his wife. That's a man that deserves to be in a relationship. A man that's not is, yeah, is not worth being in a relationship with, no matter what. Because and I ask, the last thing is to also ask, what if you had a daughter, if you have a daughter, how would you want them to show up in the relationship? Would you want them just to be kicked over and used and taken advantage of and not respected and not heard? Or would you rather her leave that guy if he's not willing to do the work? Even if it meant for the children to have a little bit of pain from the separation, but at least the daughter doesn't have to see the mother do that and then replicate it in their relationship, right? Because I see a lot of women staying in the relationship for the kids, but it actually affects the kids worse to be in the relationship than to leave it.
So
And
powerful. That is
mhm,
so big.
mhm,
I also heard you say, and I'm not putting words in your mouth, but I also heard you imply that when a woman is speaking to a man and expressing herself, it's not with an ultimatum, right?
mm,
I
mm,
think that a lot of women say or else at the end of
yeah,
statements. And I love that when you were explaining to us how to articulate that, there was no, or else at the end of that. It was just, this is how I'm feeling, and I'm not willing to accept the behavior that I'm receiving from you.
yeah.
And I think that's really powerful too, because I think men shut down with that or else. I really do.
Yes, we
Yeah.
do. And it's when we come into any situation, any communication, especially when there's a little bit of a trigger on either end, first internally work in the trigger so we're not speaking from the trigger, and we're genuinely caring and loving and coming to a place of how can we both create a win-win. We both have this family, we both have some responsibilities, we both love each other, we're both human. How can we work a win-win together? And so it's essentially, this is what I'm feeling. This is what's in conjunction with what your actions have been. I'm not okay with it, and I'm wondering how. I care about you, I love you, and I'm here for you, and I'm wondering how we could come together in a win-win where this doesn't happen anymore.
Oh, that is
Mhm,
so epic.
mhm.
Hope everyone that's listening can just take some sound bites from this and use this in their life this week, this month, today. I don't know, whatever it's going to, however it's going to serve you.
Yes.
And Trentamus, I could talk, like I said, I mean, I could talk to you all day. I adore
Hmm.
you, but you know that.
Adore you.
Um,
Thank you.
and but before we go, I want to make sure the audience that's listening understands that I will be putting your information in the notes here in the comments, but I'll also be putting this on my YouTube channel. So if you guys want to share this video with this amazing human, with the world, it's a little easier if you can use the link for YouTube instead of the private group link. So I'll put it on my YouTube channel today, and then I'll come back through and actually post the link here, so that sometimes, when you're having conversations with people, maybe having something to reference after your conversation would be a good tool. And maybe if you're having these
Hmm.
conversations with people you love in your life, and then you can send them this video, that might be helpful, right?
Hmm. Yes.
And I think that this is a great opportunity for interpersonal relationship work. And if you're looking for help, if you're looking for guidance and a partner in this so that you can grow those relationships that matter the most, I highly recommend you go onto Trentamus's Facebook page, you listen to his videos, and you just reach out to him because he's amazing.
Mm.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, Jennifer. And also, I just got to want to offer a 45-minute call to any man so any woman, let's say you're in a relationship with a man and you want him to get some support and he's genuinely open, he's willing to break those cracks open, send him my way. I would love to offer that. I generally charge, a really good amount for it, but I want to support the women of this world and the men that are willing and ready to step up. And so I'd be honored and happy to share that.
You are amazing. That is so generous, but that doesn't surprise me because that's how you roll. Um,
Hmm.
but I thank you for that. And and community, if you're out there and you're listening, believe me, this is a huge, generous offer, and you'll definitely want to take advantage of that. Um, thank you. Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Welcome.
You're the best. All right. Well, I will put your information here, and I hope that you come back and talk to us again because I'd love to
I
dive
will.
deeper.
Well, thank you, Jennifer.
Thank you. Have a beautiful day.
You as well.
Okay. Talk soon. Bye.
Bye.